Hey, sound check, mic check. Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to discuss about the respiratory system. So as you can see in here in the PowerPoint presentation, we have the air nomads that are kick ass when it comes into the animation. Realize that the air is made up of not just oxygen but nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and some pollutants when we inhale. So these are our objectives for today. First one, the student will identify the components of the respiratory system and describe their respective function in the process of respiration. Second is the students will explain the physiological process involved in the respiration, including gas exchange, ventilation, and regulation of blood pH. So let's be clear with our objectives for today. You have to know first the organs that are involved within the respiratory system, their anatomy, and alongside with it is the physiology or how does this organ works within the whole respiration process. So I want you to take down notes. If you can get some ball pen or pen and paper, this can be beneficial to you when you do your review in the upcoming written work after the whole week. So realize that the function of respiratory system are marami. No? Hindi lang sila tungkol sa gas exchange. There are some secondary or tertiary functions of the respiratory system. But number one or primary is for breathing. Gas exchange happens within the respiratory system with the help of the lungs. Tama ba? And in the lungs, there are integrated alveoli, no, or alveoli, wherein gas exchange happens. So relatively, all of the respiration happens uh, in the beginning or in the entrance point, wherein we have nose and the nasal cavity. So from the nasal cavity to the pharynx or throat, larynx going to the trachea, we have the bronchi, bronchioles, and up until the alveoli. No? Second, we also have the regulation of blood pH. So relatively, respiratory system works together with the circulatory system and mainly, syempre sa ating nervous system. But you have to realize that respiratory system and circulatory system are two systems that are really essential, no? Or when we discuss one, we really have to understand the other, no? Because somewhat they are related or they are related talaga. Regulation of blood pH in a sense that the pH in our body needs to be at its optimal point for it to function properly. When the pH goes to 1, no, it is said to be a strong acid or acidic. In the digestive system, we have learned that the hydrochloric acid in the stomach is made up of 1.5 to 2.5 pH. So they are acid, no, or acidic, strong acid. And when the pH goes from 7 above, no, or 8 above, pag napunta ng 14 yan, they are basic or alkali. Tama ba? So, we have to achieve homeostasis, no? Or for our body to do its natural metabolic processes, the pH should be at 7, no? Or the neutral position. So, the blood pH runs from 7.35 to 7.45. So, technically, it is near neutral or 7. So, again, dapat neutral or near neutral ang blood pH for the whole process to happen, no? Because there are enzymes, no, and other proteins that can be altered when you introduce it to low pH or high pH. So dapat nasa optimal rate, no? Next one, we have the olfaction. So olfaction is just all about the ability to perceive smell, no, or sense of smell. In different senses, no, when we discuss sense of sight, sense of smell, sense of feeling, sense of taste, and ano pa isa? Sense of hearing, no? When we discuss it in sensory, madadaan din natin sa olfaction, no? Particularly in the nose. In the nasal cavity, there are nerve cells that is integrated at the superior part of the nasal cavity. And those signals or chemicals can be sent to our brain, and the brain are the one that is responsible in interpreting the said sense or smell. So, for example, when you click the nozzle of the spray of your perfume, it diffuses through the air. Tama ba? So ano meron? The volatile substance, kapag sabing volatile, ito yung mga substance that mix through the air or ability of the substance to become vapor or it got in gaseous state. So, for example, may nagpabango sa classroom, those chemicals bind to the air, and just like what I have mentioned, when we talk about air, we're not just referring to oxygen. No, there are some components within the air, like for example, the carbon dioxide, the nitrogen, the oxygen, and the perfume that your classmate uh, pushes, no, para maamoy sa buong klase. And those air passes through the nose and to the nasal cavity, and then your chemoreceptors within the nasal cavity sends the different chemical signals and send it to the brain, and then the brain identify if it's said to be mabaho, mabango, matamis, mga ganong uri ng smell. Next one, we have the voice production. So when we talk about the voice production, it all happens in the larynx. Okay? Nangyari po ito saan? Sa larynx. So in the larynx, we can see that there are, in the larynx, no, it is also known as voice box. So technically integrated within the whole respiratory system is the voice box. Therefore, voice production is evident within the whole respiration system. No, although it's not a primary function of the respiratory system, you also have to realize that voice production is possible with the air that passes through the larynx. No, nagkakaroon lang ng pag-decrease and increase of diameter doon sa cavity in the larynx area para magkaroon tayo or makapag-produce tayo ng voice na mataas, mababa, malalim, at kung ano na pa. Next one, there are innate immunity or integrated within the whole respiratory system. Just like what I've mentioned, the entryway of the air is in the nasal cavity or in the nose. So mahalaga na nasa nasal cavity pa lamang ay meron na tayong line of defense. No? Since ito yung ating unang papasukan or the air entry is in this point, dapat dyan pa lang sa area ng nasal cavity or concha ay meron na tayong defense. So anong ginagawa ng katawan natin kaya? So the nasal cavity is made up of pseudostratified columnar epithelium. So the columnar epithelium has a goblet cells to it, and the goblet cells produces mucus. So the very reason why we do have a sipon or sinisipon tayo is because one of the reasons, no, is merong pumasok na bacteria or virus sa ating nasal cavity papunta sa ating katawan. So the line of defense that we need to do, syempre produce mucus, no? Number one, to make the nasal cavity moist, and second, to engulf, no? Alongside with the white blood cell, the bacteria and virus or pathogen that wants to hijack our system. So we have here a video or overview on how does the air travels within the respiratory system. So I hope you can hear the sounds.
The function of the respiratory system is to transport air into the lungs and to diffuse oxygen into the bloodstream and carbon dioxide out. It is separated into the upper and lower respiratory tracts. Air enters the upper respiratory tract through the mouth or nose and nasal cavity, where it is filtered, warmed and moistened. Next, it passes into the pharynx and then into the larynx, which is known as the voice box. From here, the air passes down into the trachea, also known as the windpipe. The inner membrane of the trachea is covered in tiny hair cells called cilia, which catch particles of dust which are removed through coughing. The trachea is surrounded by 15 to 20 C-shaped rings of cartilage at the front and side, which help protect it and keep it open. The trachea divides into two smaller tubes called bronchi, which pass air into the left and right lungs. Once inside the lung, the bronchi split several ways, forming tertiary bronchi. These continue to divide, forming bronchioles, which are narrow tubes less than 1 millimeter in diameter. Eventually, air enters alveolar sacs and alveoli, where gaseous exchange takes place.
So that is the overview video on how does the air travel from the nasal cavity up until to the lungs. So now let us talk about the structure of the respiratory system, namely the upper respiratory tract and the lower respiratory tract. So in the upper respiratory tract, we have the different organ that is integrated to it. We have the nose, the nasal cavity, the throat or pharynx, the larynx, or the voice box. On the lower respiratory tract, we have the trachea or the windpipe, the bronchi, and the lungs. No? So these are the separation of the respiratory system when it comes to structure. In some other books, no, they can also refer to it as superior part and inferior part. But most common use is the upper respiratory tract and the lower respiratory tract. But kung ni-refer sila as lower or superior, lower or inferior respiratory tract, we are referring to trachea and bronchi and lungs. Pag naman superior respiratory tract, we are referring to the nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, and the nose. First and foremost, we have the upper respiratory tract, the nose. No, the nose is consist of or made up of bone and cartilages. So you have to realize that the air, syempre, hindi naman passes through the nose. It passes through the nostril, no, wherein it deposits the air going to the whole nasal cavity. So the external nose is composed of hyaline cartilage, although the bridge of the external nose consists of the bone. So if you're going to pinch your nose, no, in the upper part or superior part, we have the bone in here. Buto talaga yan, ano? And then in the lower part, yung malapit sa nostril, it is made up of cartilage. So whether you pinch it, no, at bali-balikuin mo man yan, ay babalik pa rin sa kanyang posisyon because it is made up of cartilage, no? There are procedures that is done to alter the nose. So if you're familiar with rhinoplasty, in the cosmetic industry, it is used to alter the structure or anatomy of the nose. No, and for some, it is for aesthetic purposes. But again, if you're going to discuss it in biology, you have to realize and you have to go back to the very function of the nose. There are people or person that undergo rhinoplasty to make their breathing smooth, no? So, yung iba kasi, for example, pango, ano? Siyempre, kung pango ka, your nostrils is, the diameter of your nostril ay medyo manipis, no? Or pahiga. So, minsan, kapag nagkakaroon ng rhinoplasty or nagpapa-rhinoplasty ng isang tao, their breathing becomes more smooth, no? Or mas nagiging okay ang kanilang paghiga. May mga nagpapa-rhinoplasty naman, for example, yung mga European people, na mataas ang nose bridge. So, ano ginagawa nila? They cut their nasal bone and then, syempre, inaayos yung structure ng surgeon. And then, they want to make the nose bridge lower. That is why they can achieve the perfect nose anatomy. No? Hindi sobrang pango, hindi rin sobrang tangos. No? Lalo na yung mga European kasi meron silang mataas na nose bridge because the nasal bone nila ay nakaangat. No, but again, you also have to realize that every surgery has its own risk. Every surgery has its own function. No, the risk, syempre, is yung infection, no, after the procedure. Syempre, meron yung mga aftercare na tinatawag. So after you do surgery or rhinoplasty, doon na very visible yung bacterial growth or infection because you are exposed to different materials. Therefore, possible pa rin yung infection. And again, kung function naman ang pag-uusapan, there are people that have been subjected to injury, for example, in the nose. Therefore, they do rhinoplasty to make their nose go back to its original or pwedeng mapaayos so that the breathing continues, no, or the breathing becomes more smooth and for the respiratory system to become more okay or to become okay. Okay? Next one, we have the nasal cavity. No, there are lots of parts within the nasal cavity, but let us focus on the component or saan ba gawa si nasal cavity. It is made up of pseudostratified columnar epithelial cell. So let us chunk down the word. No, when we talk about pseudostratified, what does it mean? Pseudostratified means pseudo means fake, and stratified means cluster or strata. So later on, I will be showcasing to you the microscopic level of the nasal cavity because integrated within the pseudostratified columnar epithelium are goblet cells. Let us go back in our discussion last time in Gen Bio 1. No? na-discuss natin yung tissues. There are four types of tissue or tissues, namely the epithelial tissue, the um, connective tissue, the muscle tissue, and the nervous tissue. In the epithelial tissue, there can be categorized based on shape and based on layer. When we talk about layer, this can be simple, stratified, or pseudostratified. Pag sinabi namang based on shape, we have the squamous or the scale-like or thin-like cell. We also have the cuboidal or ito ay cube-like or square-like ang kanyang structure. And we also have the columnar. Siyempre, ang kanyang itsura ay column-like. Now, later on, we will see how does pseudostratified columnar epithelial cell looks like. So, in the nasal cavity, it contains or concha is then used to increase the surface area of the nasal cavity for the air to be churned or for the air to be mixed within the whole nasal cavity. So, for example, you inhale a air, you have to realize that it has to be modified first before it enters the lungs. Hindi pwede kung anong hininga natin, for example, or in-inhale natin, ay diretso na ng lungs yan. There are modification that needs to be done for your body to accept the air properly or for your body or for the air to diffuse within your capillaries, within the alveoli or in the lungs. So unang-una, since ito ay nasa concha, or the nasal cavity, the paranasal sinuses where air is being moistened and warm, and the cilia which cleanse the air by filtering out foreign bodies. So just like what I have mentioned, when we inhale air, it is not just made up of concentrated oxygen. Madami yung pollutants din dyan, lalo na kung nakatira ka sa city, talagang madami diyang usok. Usok literal na madaming pollutants and tiny particles. So, technically, when it enters the nasal cavity, it needs to be moistened first and warm. And secondly, some of the pollutant needs to be filtered by your cilia within your nose. Kaya nga tayo may ilong dito kaya nga tayo may buhok sa ilong is to filter the pollutants. So, may mga ibang tao na pinipiling bunutin yung kanilang buhok sa ilong. Again, balikan natin palagi ang anatomy and physiology. Every part of our body has its own function. So if you alter the anatomy of your whole system, therefore, the physiology also changes. So kung bubunutin mo lahat, buhok mo sa ilong o nagpa-wax ka sa ilong ng hair, maaaring magkaroon or makompromise yung filtering system mo. Therefore, the air that passes through the nasal cavity ay may mga pollutants. Okay? So, ganun palagi ang dapat isipin when we talk about anatomy and physiology. So, ito yung itsura class ng ating pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Sinabi natin, the term pseudo means fake. So, pseudo means fake. Stratified means strata or layer. So, this one is said to be pseudostratified columnar epithelium or fake ang kanyang pagiging stratified. Bakit? If we're going to examine this one, lahat po sila ay gawa lang sa columnar cell. Or isang columnar cell. Kaya lang siya nagiging stratified, quote-unquote, or nagiging pseudo-stratified or fake stratified because of the orientation of the columnar cell. So, medyo madaya siya, or kung titignan natin madaya, kasi akala natin madaming layer. But technically, hindi siya ganun, because there are integrated goblet cells within the pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium. We're going to look at the right side of the diagram. The goblet cells are this one, They help in producing or secreting mucus. Para saan ba si mucus? Mucus has lots of function in our body. Number one, it helps in making the nasal cavity moist. So, kailangan yon sa ating respiratory system. Second is for defense mechanism. Mucus helps the white blood cell, sometimes in engulfing the pathogen like bacteria and viruses, before it exits the whole system, Kaya pag tayo ay nag-sneeze, nag-cough, ay may kasamang mucus. Kasi nga, the body wants to prevent contact of these bacteria and viruses within the lining of our respiratory system. So, that is the function of mucus that has been produced by the goblet cells. Next one, in the upper respiratory tract, we have the pharynx, also known as the throat. Okay? So throat is divided into three parts. We have the nasopharynx or nasopharynx, the oropharynx, and the hypopharynx. So the term hypo means below or mababa. So pag sinabing hyper, mataas, pag hypo, below. So hypopharynx is just below the pharynx or the lower part of the pharynx. And in other book, hypopharynx is referred to as laryngopharynx. Parehas lang po yun. Okay? So there are lots of parts that is located in the picture. I don't want you to memorize it. I just want you to know what happens or what are the different mechanisms that happens within the pharynx. So una-una, we have the nasopharynx. Sorry, the nasopharynx connects the nasal cavity to the throat. So it joins the nasal cavity towards the internal concha and contains the opening of the auditory tube and the pharyngeal tonsil. It serves only as an airway. Okay? So, you have to realize na madaming connection, no? Yung ating different organs within our body, lalo na yung oral cavity, nasal cavity, tsaka throat, no? Earlier, we have mentioned that nasopharynx connects to the opening of the auditory tube. So, sometimes if we have, for example lang, no, bacterial infection in the nose, minsan pwede itong mapunta sa ating nasal cavity, no? Or vice versa. Pwede naman, for example, meron tayong bacterial infection within the nasal cavity. This can traverse or go to the auditory tube. Pwedeng maapektuhan ng ating tenga. Okay? So, kaya nga meron tayong tatawag na ENT na specialist, di ba? The ear, nose, and throat because these specialists are the one that is responsible in knowing the different ailments or diseases that is associated within the ear, nose, and throat because the whole these three organs are integrated with each other. Next one, we have the oropharynx or the connection of the throat slash pharynx to the oral cavity. It joins the oral cavity and contains the palatine and lingual tonsil. In the digestive system, we already discussed where does the palate and the lingual or lingua is located. Okay? So they are made up of stratified squamous epithelium. Stratified squamous, o balikan natin. When we talk about squamous, ang itsura is scale-like or thin sheets of cell. Pag stratified naman, pinagpatong-patong. Just like our epidermis, which is made up of stratified squamous epithelium. So anong function ng stratified squamous epithelium? Most often is for protection. Okay? The laryngopharynx is the connection of the larynx to the pharynx. No? And in the digestive system, we have discussed that larynx, pharynx, and esophagus are the organ that are connected with each other. Later on, we will know the mechanism. How does one works with respect to the another? So again, it's made up of stratified squamous epithelium for protection. Larynx is also known as voice box. If we're going to look again at the structure of the larynx, it is made up of ciliated columnar epithelium. Pagka columnar epithelium, it has a goblet cells, no? As you can see in the picture, which helps in secretion of mucus to maintain the moisture within the respiratory system, no? Kasi kailangan yung air ay moist, no? Simula sa ilong hanggang sa lungs. And also integrated with it are cilia, no? Makikita natin yung hair-like structure above the columnar cell. And again, for protection ito, no? It helps in propelling some of the pathogen away from the body or pabalik sa ating nasal cavity. Kaya tayo ay nagkaka or nag-i-sneeze. So we have the epiglottis. Again, just like what I mentioned earlier, epiglottis, pharynx, and larynx are the organ that is related with each other. No? Epiglottis projects superiorly as a free plot. So sa tawag na epiglottis because ito yung nasa taas ng glottis, no, literal. Epi means above or just above the glottis. So what happens when we eat food and when we breathe, no? Mahalagang malaman na when we eat, dapat ang pagpuntahan niya na esophagus, tama ba? Papunta ng stomach. When we breathe naman, mahalagang malaman that the air needs to go to the trachea, papunta ng lungs. Hindi pwede maging vice versa, no? Hihinga ka tapos yung air ay pupunta ng stomach, magiging bloated ka, no? Or kakain ka tapos pupunta ng trachea yung pagkain mo, magkakaroon ng bacterial infection within your lungs, no? Kasi wala naman dong mga acidic na enzyme. So balikan natin. So ano nangyari kapag umihinga at kumakain, no? As the larynx elevate during swallowing, so as you can see in the diagram, the green one signifies the food, no? When we eat, it produces a bolus, no? Nakasama na din sa saliva. So the bolus needs to enter the esophagus, no? Hindi dapat sa larynx pupunta yan. As the larynx elevate, during the swallowing, the epiglottis tips posteriorly. So technically, the epiglottis close the larynx when we eat. Therefore, it directs the food to enter the esophagus. So ganun lang siya ka-basic. Ano? Ulitin natin ha. When we eat, the epiglottis close posteriorly. Therefore, it covers the larynx and the food goes through the esophagus. Or vice versa happens when we breathe. When we breathe from the nasal cavity, uh, the epiglottis remains at its original position. Therefore, the air enters the trachea. So, ganun lang siya ka. Dali. Okay? So, there are, if you're going to look at the diagram class, now this is the view of the larynx, the superior view of the larynx. The vestibular folds prevent the air, food, and liquid from passing through the larynx. Kung meron na tayong epiglottis class na nagko-close and open yan, no? Meron pa tayong vestibular folds that again helps in uh, preventing the preventing the air, food, and liquid pass through the larynx. So hindi dapat pumunta dyan yung mga component na hindi naman para dyan. Next one, we have the vocal folds or the true folds, which helps in producing sound. So these folds, makikita niyo yung color white, they are the one that vibrates sounds, no, which helps us to produce different pitch of sound. So when air passes through it, the air vibrates, no? Siyempre, the glottis, the vocal folds or the true folds, open and close depende sa kung paano i-modulate ng tao yung kanyang boses. So, pwedeng mababa, pwedeng mataas, pwedeng matinis, at kung ano-ano pa man. Next one, we have the trachea, or also known as the windpipe. So, the windpipe is made of hyaline cartilage. Literally, ito po ay C-shape. So, if you're going to view this one in superior view or top view, ang makikita mo po dyan, itong color purple na to ay C-shape. No? It is made up of columnar or pseudostratified columnar epithelium, which again helps in lubrication, or it helps in producing mucus to make the air within the trachea moist. Okay? So again, the trachea is the main windpipe, and as we move from the trachea to the lungs, no, paliit ng paliit yung diameter ng ating pipe, no? Again, this is associated to the gas exchange. You have to realize that gas needs to diffuse to capillaries, and capillaries is a small, or the diameter of the capillary is small compared to other blood vessel like arteries and vein. With that being said, the trachea needs to be modified na magiging bronchi, magiging bronchiole, at magiging manipis or maliit lang kanyang diameter before it enters the alveoli, wherein gas exchange happens. So, before or after rather the trachea, we have the bronchi. No, the bronchi is divided into two parts, no, the left and the right, that is directed syempre to the right and the left of the lungs. So ano meron dito? The trachea is connected to the bronchi, and the main connection of the lungs and the trachea is the bronchi. It is lined with pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium, and just like trachea is made up of C-shaped cartilage. Next one, let us talk about the principal organ of the respiratory system, which is the lungs. Okay? Realize that lungs is located within the abdomen, no? Sa ating upper part or sa chest. And si lungs class, hindi yan directly na naka-connected with other organs, no? It is bounded with or sealed with a pleural membrane, no? Inside the chest cavity. So, hindi agad nakakonect si heart doon kay left lungs. No, meron tayong pleural membrane that helps or additional support and protection of the lungs. You have to realize that left and right lungs are different when it comes to shape. Relatively, mas malaki yung right lungs compared kay left lungs. Tama ba? This is due to the presence of the heart. So when we do lupang hinirang, we place our right hands on our left side of the chest. So technically, the heart is located in the medial left side. Therefore, the left lungs has only two lobes, kaya po siya mas maliit. Okay? But again, the function is still the same. The left and the right lungs function is still the same. Magkaiba nga lang sila ng size. So the right lung has three parts, namely the superior, middle, and inferior lobe. And ang atin namang left lungs ay composed of superior and inferior lobes. Next, no, inside the lungs, we have bronchi, bronchioles, and the terminal part or the last part is the alveoli. No? Each respiratory bronchioles subdivided from alveolar ducts. The alveolar ducts and alveoli consist of simple squamous epithelium. Bakit kaya sila gawa sa simple squamous epithelium? The primary function of squamous epithelium is number one, protection. Second is for diffusion. So para magkaroon ng gas exchange, dapat ang cell na meron po dyan ay squamous epithelium or manipis na cell. Okay? The respiratory membrane of the lungs is where gas exchange happens. It is formed mainly by the wall of the alveoli and the surrounding capillaries. So the respiratory membrane is very thin to facilitate the diffusion of the gas. Just like what I mentioned earlier, it is made up of squamous epithelium. In alveoli, O2 or oxygen gas is taken by the pulmonary artery and CO2 is taken out by the alveoli. So, question, how does gas exchange happen? We have this mechanism called diffusion. No? In Gen Bio 1, transport mechanism, we have taught you that there are two types of transport mechanism. No? We have the passive and active. Pag active, kailangan ng energy or ATP. Pag passive, hindi kailangan ng energy. So simple diffusion is a passive transport, meaning energy is not needed. But how does diffusion happens in the alveoli, no, or in the respiratory membrane? You have to realize that diffusion happens based on the difference in concentration gradient. Balikan natin, homeostasis is the process wherein our body needs to achieve balance. Tama ba? So if there's a difference in concentration gradient, meaning mas concentrated yung isang molecule or compound sa isang side, the tendency is kailangan i-balance. So ano mangyari? Magdi-diffuse yung element or compound to the different part of the cell. So paano nangyari yon? So when we inhale, technically the gases is contained of oxygen. No? Meron siya oxygen component. So ano pa? So those oxygen can enter the cell. Papasok ng cell yan. Bakit? Because of the difference of concentration gradient. Since oxygen is reached outside of the cell, it will enter the cell para ma-achieve yung balance state. Nulit natin ha, diffusion happens when there's a difference in concentration gradient. Kung madaming oxygen sa labas ng cell, the tendency is it will enter the cell. Ganun lang siya ka-basic. Okay? And vice versa happens in carbon dioxide. Since your cell do different metabolic processes, metabolic pathway, for example, nag-cell cycle yan dyan, the tendency are it has lots of carbon dioxide within the cell. Tama ba? So the cell has a higher concentration of carbon dioxide in it. So to achieve homeostasis, ano ulit gagawin? Simple diffusion needs to commence. Ibig sabihin, carbon dioxide will exit the cell, therefore, the whole gas exchange happens. Oxygen enters, carbon dioxide exit. Saan pupunta si carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide will go to the pulmonary artery. And then the pulmonary artery will help the carbon dioxide papunta sa labas ng ating system. Therefore, gas exchange happens. So this is the mechanism of breathing. I want you to focus on the muscle that helps the breathing, the lungs, and also how does the air is being transported. So when we inhale, the diaphragm contracts, no, or the muscle called diaphragm, inferior to the lungs, contracts. So what happens? When we inhale, ano nangyari? The lungs expand. So when the lungs expand, it creates a negative pressure. Therefore, the air enters the nasal cavity papunta ng lungs. Vice versa happens when we talk about exhalation. When we exhale, the diaphragm relaxes. So when the diaphragm relaxes, what happens to the lungs? Lungs is being contracted, no? So pag nag-contract si lungs, what will happen? It will help the air inside the lungs propel outside of the system, or the air is being exhaled or pushed outside. So that happens when we breathe. Okay, you have to realize that the nervous system is integrated to the all organs that we have in our body. So technically, nervous system is known as the control center. So ang question natin dyan, class, paano natin malalaman kung tayo ay hinga? Ay, paano natin malalaman kung tayo mag-inhale or mag-exhale? So again, the brain or the brain alongside the brainstem decide what are the things that our body needs to do. So, guys, sabi ko kanina, there are neurons, nerve cell that's integrated within the blood vessel, the lungs. So, it will dictate what needs to be done in the body. When our body distinguish that the set point is above or below, ibig sabihin, mababa ang ating oxygen. So, what will happen in our body? No? It will direct the respiratory system to do its job or capability niya ang kanyang job. With the help of muscle contraction of the diaphragm, it allows the respiratory system to double time, meaning the oxygen enters the body rapidly and it can make the system achieve homeostasis. Ganun lang naman palagi, no? Kailangan inuutusan ni brain, no? More often than not. No, inuutusan ni brain kapag nakakakita tayo ng imbalances within our system. So you have to realize that the respiratory system or the respiratory center is in the medulla oblongata or medulla oblongata and the pons, which regulates the respiration. The higher brain center can modify the activity of the respiratory center depending of the need of the body. No? Kaya sinabi ko kanina, pagka, for example, sobrang dami naman ng oxygen sa katawan natin, what needs to be done by the body or by the lungs? Siyempre, mag-dictate si brain na, bagalan mo ng konti, diaphragm, no? Para ang ating contraction of lungs ay mas mabagal to regulate the oxygen and carbon dioxide within the body. So that explains the whole mechanism of the respiratory system. So there are this activity that is stored for you. So for you to be able to pass your written work, you can work on this one, no? There are different cases and you can answer the different guide question. So this can be a great tool for you to make your written work higher. So that would be all for the respiratory system. I hope you understood the whole process and the mechanism that is responsible in the whole respiration. From the nasal cavity to the throat, to the pharynx, to the trachea, to the bronchi, to the bronchiole, to the alveoli where gas exchange happens, the lungs contracts and expels the carbon dioxide outside of the system. So that would be all for today. Thank you.